KS basically means a kill steal. And it means there's a guaranteed kill for probably a carry, and then someone else comes in and takes it.
You try and steal pentas because you don't want your teammate to have that stat. You'd rather have that stat, so you just take the penta. Screw that.
Of course I KS. That's the only way you look good to the fans, if you KS.
Who KS's me? You should be asking who doesn't KS me.
Versus XCG, I had like a quadra kill on Lulu, and I was like, I got the penta, and then Cobb just like came and like stole it away, and he was just laughing about it the whole time.
I got Benny. Go on the next target. I'm gonna keep chasing. I'm gonna get Ori.
We can get Baron.
Nice.
So I had a kill steal against Curse one time, and basically it was like closing out the game. We had a big epic fight. It was a long game, and we were closing it out. And I didn't even notice that he'd racked up like a triple kill and then a quadra kill. I was just tunneling on like we have to win this game. So I was going straight in for the kill secure, not the kill steal, and I stole the pentakill basically from Peak.
Got him.
Nice.
Nice.
Good job, guys.
Nice. No!
Oh, you stole the penta!
He stole the last kill. He's done it before.
Welcome back to the NA LCS. Now, Kobe, as a jungler, how often do you kill steal?
It's never a steal when the jungler, because the jungler needs most of the money because he's all over the map, of course.
Or so junglers say. We'll see if there are any scumbag steals in our next match, which is going to be Team Coast versus Curse. This is a tiebreaker match with both teams currently sitting in 5th place.
And like we mentioned earlier, they're only 1 game back from Dignitas. Curse has been playing well and crafting specific strategies for their opponents. Darius admitted that he's more scared to face Curse than he is CLG. But Curse can't really close out games. Last week, we had them playing TSM. They had TSM on the ropes in the early game, but they allowed them to fight their way back in and take the victory.
And so far, this split, Curse has the advantage, going 2-1 against Coast.
But Coast have shown that you can never count them out. And Sunday, in their game against the Evil Geniuses, it looked like Coast were fighting a losing battle. But they had a lot of patience. Shiptur came up with some great picks, and they pulled out a win after 51 minutes.
So we'll get right into game 2. Let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's going to be Coast. ZionSpartan in the top lane, NintendudeX in the jungle. Shiptur the man in mid lane. WizFujiiN at 80 carry, and Daydreamin doing that on support.
And on the red side, up top is Quas in the jungle. IWillDominate, mid Voyboy, AD carry Cop, and support Bunny FuFuu.
And then coming into this matchup, we have to remember Shiptur has a quite amount of unique champions played, but Voyboy. But I feel like Voyboy and Pobelt have kind of put themselves on a pedestal saying, one of us can play more unique champions. And they just keep doing it, coming out. Actually, I think ManCloud's up there too. So those guys have really had a unique champion pool. Something we're going to have to focus on here because we see that Soraka bans, or picks rather, coming out for Cloud9, kind of mixing things up a bit. Is it going to be from Voyboy, ManCloud, and the likes of Shiptur in these matches?
Yeah, Voyboy very well could pull out the Soraka. He's no stranger to solo lane support play. So he could easily do that. But I think there's a lot of focus as well on junglers this game. IWillDominate, we talked about. He comes up really big for Curse. And Nintendude as well. He's been determining a lot of how the games go. Whether it's playing well or making some mistakes. So, you know, I think he had a recent pretty good game. So he might be on an upswing here.
He has tried to pull out some Evelynn. His last game, that Pantheon going forward, was actually his first time in Week 10 on Pantheon, getting himself a strong play, but we'll see what he can do here. He has been the guy to do Leona and go for crazy things. He brought out the tank fiddlesticks back in the summer or the spring, either or. You can see on the other side, Curse, always a team laughing, just like Evil Geniuses, Cop, and everybody. They try to figure things out. Like we heard Sneaky during the ultra rapid fire mode. He's like, we figured I could play Jace because it was just amazing in the beginning. That's what these guys do. I remember XDG, when they would go to play a game, they'd be like, we play for tacos, actually. We'll go like first blood for tacos in a 1v1. Quas in the top lane, dominate. Usually, what does a jungler do? What do you usually do if you're warming up for a game, Kobe?
You just go around and make sure that all your settings are in the right place there. I mean, there's not much.
Go make sure somebody mowed all the camps for you.
You don't really have to warm up fighting jungle mobs. Half the time, as a jungler, you're not even looking at your champion while it's killing the mobs in the jungle. You're
watching
looking at
lanes.
You're watching the lanes, trying to see where you're going to go, trying to see everybody's.
The red blink on your screen tells you everything you need to know.
Got to practice taking down those double golems. Sometimes they're a bit scary.
Absolutely. So getting himself in some deep situations the other day in that double golem situation. Nintendude, Shifter, a lot of the voices when it comes to a bit of the early game, and then Zion loves to take over in the fights. I think we can remember Coast saying he speaks really loud and confident, so we go with him.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Coast actually come out in this game. What kind of look are they going for? Because for some reason they have been trying to get away from the Zion split push game,
right?
Which was, you know, getting them a lot of wins, but they've sort of focused more on the standard meta where they've got the tanky up top, and then they have a lot of power on Shifter in mid. I actually like what they did last game, and they use a lot of heavy crowd control from their bottom lane, bringing Varus and I think it might have been Leona, but just bring a lot of CC from the bottom lane. Annie, yeah, very similar. Bring a lot of CC from the bottom lane. I think it's a good strat for Coast. Allowing them to have big impacts in the team fights.
Yeah, we actually saw that WizFujiiN's Varus, you see that he is more comfortable. The quality of life there for him in just the game, even if he's doing poorly, the piercing arrows still affect the fights greatly on his outside. So even if he's kind of on the back side of the fight, he'll still be doing damage. We kind of talk about Wiz's positioning all the time. It's pretty good.
And if he can land those ultis.
Yeah, the chain of corruption. Oh man, one of the hardest ults to hit in League of Legends. Most missed, statistically. We'll see if we'll get a recount on that. Annie will be banned out. Actually, that's going to be from the hands of Coast. Bunny FuFuu has really focused, actually nothing. Can't say he's focused anything against them because this is the first time Bunny FuFuu's matching up against Coast on the roster. Their first 3 games were with Zkent and Saint.
Yeah, oh man, so many supports. Hard to keep track of them for Curse.
Yep.
The bottom lane, though, has been going very well recently for Curse. Cop and Bunny FuFuu are putting up really strong numbers. They're going to be a consistent threat for this team. Neither of these bottom lanes, though, you really think about as kill bottom lanes. They're not very aggressive bottom lanes, usually.
Guys who farm or kind of keep to themselves, if you will, within the lane. We'll see if Daydreamin or Bunny FuFuu can change that at all. We know supports have a heavy hand in changing how the bottom lane goes.
Yeah, and Thresh is up. Talking about supports, Thresh, one of the favorites of both of these guys. Daydreamin loves the hooks. He always has. And Bunny FuFuu, main champion, is Thresh. So there's a lot of importance on that Thresh for both these teams. But Coast, let's see, what would they have to give up for that? Pretty high priority jungle pick. There's only been 3 bans in the jungle, and they were all from Curse.
These games all mean so much, Kobe, and you can see with every second counting down in Champion Select, Coast is just kind of pondering that situation. What can we do in this game? The first pick we show is going to give our hand away to Curse, make it ambiguous, make it a flex pick, or not. No, wait a minute, back and forth. It's going to be the Elise they choose to go for.
Yeah, so it is the high priority jungle pick. Because there were 3 bans from Curse, they wanted to grab it for Nintendude early, make sure he's comfortable on whatever he's playing.
Good choice. That's a good choice.
Now, it does leave up that Thresh, though, for Curse. The weird things for me so far is the Annie first ban from Coast. Very interesting.
Bunny FuFuu, not a huge Annie player from recollection, but maybe High is a huge Soraka player either. So it's whatever these guys feel like doing for the day, and whatever was in the scrims last night. Curse, Quas, and Dominate, both teams taking their time with these picks. We saw Cloud9 versus XDG go quite fast, and it looks like it will be the Thresh, and it may be the Draven. It's been a while since Cop brought out the Draven, but he is going to do it. I believe the last time he did it was the second time they faced against Dignitas. He's giving Cutie Pie a little bit of Draven medicine, but they're going to do it here.
And he's a good Draven player too, because he catches almost every single axe. He's very particular about catching the axes. We even saw him delay taking one of the lanterns to enable him to grab one more axe. But he's a good juggler, let's say that, for Cop. And I do really love this duo bottom. Ever since both of these champions came out, I've always really liked Thresh Draven, because both of them want to push up. They want to have control of the lane. Thresh so that he can collect every single soul and get more powerful, and Draven so that he can continue to bully you under your turret and catch all your axes. He wants to be able to stack up that adoration And if they get control of the lane early, then both of these champions are able to thrive and snowball.
That's one thing we should watch as well is the adoration on Cop, because he'll sit on millions of adoration and then miss a kill and keep missing kills. It's crazy to have it continuously happen to
the
him.
Heimer Ding Dong.
Saw some play over
Pretty
in Europe.
strong.
Kobe.
Right now, his turrets are a menace to take down late game. I absolutely hate going against him in solo queue because if you gank a Heimerdinger, you really need to take him out quickly because you're going to be stuck very deep in those turrets. And right now, this is not the live patch, so the turret damage was not taken down at all. We'll stop talking about it now.
Yeah.
Killer of fun.
One of the most played next to Elise coming in here for Dominate. That Vi has picked up 7 times for him so far, and it looks like he's going to put it under his belt once again. Punch first and ask questions later against Elise Sin in the jungle for Nintendude. He hasn't played that since week 6.
So it's a Lee Sin. I think it will be a Zion Lee Sin, though, because Zion definitely
you're right.
favors...
Forgot about the Elise. Getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, he definitely favors Lee Sin over Elise. It could be a top lane Elise, but it's probably going to be that split push, Hydra, high damage Zion style Lee Sin top lane that is very exciting to see and decent against Renekton. I mean, Zion is able to handle himself against Renekton. He knew that the Renekton was a very high probability of coming in. He's just going to have to see how he can match up against Quas in the top lane. Maybe Nintendo will make an early visit up there. That's a very, very high kill potential lane. Lee Sin and Elise, that duo is very, very strong early.
Now, interesting pick here. We're focusing on Quas a little bit. 0-4 in Renekton.
Yeah.
Pummels people with Trundle, but goes for the Renekton. Back to some meta picks, which he does not favor.
I feel like he's uncomfortable going against Zion's Lee Sin, and he wants just sort of the standard beefiest thing that he can take up into the top lane so that he can handle himself in lane phase. I think he's a little bit worried about that laning phase, so opting to go with the Renekton, who gives him the best chance there. Meanwhile, Coast locking in so much long range at the last 3 picks here. They've got the Nidalee plus the Zyra combo, which is a lot of poke plus disengage. And Voyboy comboing Yasuo with the Vi. Very good pickup right there. Thresh as well can, and even Cop actually, stand aside. Anybody really can, except for Renekton, is going to be able to set Voyboy up for kills with his ulti.
Definitely got one of the better, even though Yasuo wasn't played much. He's 2-1 on it back in the early weeks of the spring split. Daydreamin's pickup of Zyra. That'll be our second one we see getting picked up on the game. A lot of people get caught out by that grasping route. We got to remember if you, at IEM, Lemon Nation played that quite a bit, actually. Some good results, too.
So this is Coast actually going back to sort of the standard that used to work for them. I talked about which Coast are we going to see this time around. It's a split pushing Coast. We've got the 4-man squad that likes to take a lot of poke. They've got Zyra for the disengage, and Nidalee is extremely mobile. So they have the 4-man poke squad, and then Zion with his teleport Lee Sin trying to cause havoc somewhere else on the map. And if they can kite long enough for the teleport to come in, then the entire team having to go through Zyra, they should be low enough for Zion to come in and clean up.
All right, well, the game's about to go live. Let's take a look at the voting over at LOLesports.com. 62% of you think Curse will take this win over Coast. A little close, closer than I thought it would be. Curse with some pretty pretty dominant games, I should say. I was trying to change the word because of dominate, but I guess you can't. Sometimes you got to stick with it. And if they can get the early hold on this game, they grab Dragons very well, and then the first early pressure. But after that, we have to watch if Curse gets ahead of themselves. They try to grab too much because they go for that next turret, and then they lose a long fight that drives them back into their own base, and then they're starting to lose turrets of their own.
Right, so looking at this game from Curse's perspective, we've got Renekton up top. He should be bullying. He should be shoving up. We have a Draven Thresh down bottom. They want to do very similar things. Shove up their lane, bully it a bit. Voyboy in mid going against Nidalee as well. Wants to be able to push her in early. So it's going to be up to Dominate to try and deal with the Nintendude situation. If Dominate's able to control Elise, then the early game should go in Curse's favor.
See what Nintendude can do to get away from Dominate in this early part of the jungle. Curse having some pretty good level 1s. More so of, looks like homework that they were able to outsmart the other team and they knew what they were going to do. Not so much an invade. And right now they put everybody at the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see where this Kate Zyra lane goes because it's a very long range poke lane here that if they are able to get unanswered poke early on the Cop and Bunny FuFuu lane, then they can get control of it. And they won't allow Draven and Thresh to shove like they want to. Caitlyn and Zyra should have a pretty good chance of that, actually, as long as they don't get caught by some death sentence.
Looks like the early ward going out up top towards blue. That was his volatile spider. Early word for Curse down towards the dragon. And they will be safe and sound. Looks like they're going to keep everything orthodox on this one. No switch up for the AD carries, so they are going to match these lanes. That's going to be a deadly. Oh, you're right.
As you say
well,
that,
indeed. They start roaming.
Zyra's going up towards the top side.
Going to be eating crow here.
Zion's going down bottom. Oh. I like this late invade, though. Look at this from Curse. They know that there's no... there's not a plentiful amount of early wards available here. So it should probably be a blind Coast. And they are going to be guessing correctly. Both teams actually with the late invades. And it will be that lane swap for the Zyra and Caitlyn. Super long range. They should be able to take a turret really easily, even though top side has the champion reduction of damage. Zyra starting with the Spell Thieves. It's very, very strong as the procs are able, she's able to use them on turrets. So very easy for her to get that money and get extra turret damage here. So both of them, start out with the mirror red buff steals. Zion, though, definitely something new here.
He is hanging. Still 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is going to be a good game. He is just sitting in the brush right now. We'll see if he can buy any more time, or blue buff is going to be weird denial, but then Dominate's going to get it back. This is interesting play here without any other help.
Oh, he sees the lizards, little baby lizards attacking Zion. He's been found out. He needs to make his escape now.
Yeah, this is going to be bad. Voyboy is right on to ZionSpartan. How could this have ever gone correctly for them? Voyboy goes over the wall and cues him out.
So here's why that went wrong. No control over mid lane from a Nidalee early. Nidalee does not have a strong presence early game. She can do very, very little, especially against Yasuo. That's how I talked about Voyboy being able to get control of this lane early. Zion deep in enemy territory, and there's nowhere for him to go. Even Quas was actually counter jungling with Renekton. You don't expect that. So Zion did not expect the Quas factor this time around, but he should have expected that his mid lane would not be able to help him very much. And the Gambit early from Coast does not pay off.
Yeah.
Their solo laner does go down. Quas was able to get jungle camp during that time as well, so he's got a very large lead, and he's leeching experience.
Yep. He's soaking it up on the outside. Very smart play there, and he cannot be attacked. Oh, WizFujiiN. He wants to know if somebody.
Oh, they didn't? I don't think they saw him.
They smell the swamp water. He's getting in. 4 minutes on the clock. The push in the bottom lane is obviously going to be faster. You don't have the armor on the turret. That's what Coast is dealing with in the top lane right now. So we always see this slowing down now. The vision isn't there for both teams. We'll see how they react to this, because Curse is going for second tier. Top tier hasn't even been taken down yet for Coast.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to get it. Zion not there. Elise has actually been sent down to help Zion. And Elise even better than Lee Sin at defending these because she has the range advantage. They should be able to defend that secondary one. So it's not a full two-turret trade as we usually see. Coast opting to switch right after the first one.
Man, if Zion could have pulled that off in the early game, he would have been so well off to start this one and really put Curse in a mental kind of glitch for them to recover. And we know Dominate does not like his blues being stolen. Remember him back on Gragas. Not going to hurt him as much on Vi. But they keep this one safe. Curse stays on top with a first blood. They are able to get the turret in the bottom lane. We'll see if they go for any more. Yeah. See if old habits die hard here for them.
It was just such a weird start from Coast here.
No, absolutely.
They have a Nidalee mid, and they call a lane swap. Nidalee mid, very low wave clear, not good in the early lane swaps. And they decide to send Zion onto the lane that they swapped against. So they send their AD and support up top. So like, oh yeah, we have so much control over this top side. because we have everybody up there. We're sending Zion deep into the weak side of the map for us to invade, try and get a sneaky little blue steal off there. But he's a one-man crew because they're the ones who actually initiated the lane swap, and it definitely blew up in their faces. See if they can recover, though. It doesn't seem like it hurt them too bad in the end.
It doesn't. All tied up in that CS. Well, from top to mid and jungle. Well, mid rather, I should say. Voyboy is up a little bit here as Curse starting to formulate around Dragon with a pink ward very, very early. This is normal from Curse.
All right, let's see if we have a collapse here. Nintendude might be able to go for the steal, but it's very dangerous.
Level 2 for Bunny FuFuu. This fight could go bad quickly, but they are able to just brute force down Dragon. Very nicely put there by Curse. They do grab a little bit more. Nothing wrong with that one this time.
Yeah, not even very many spears getting in there from Shiptur. He was looking for that level 2 Thresh with his spear. Not able to find it, though. And since the teleport was already used by Zion, it would not go in Coast's favor if they try and contest. Quas still has his available, so it would have been a 5-on-4 if they tried to do anything sneaky there.
Looking over at Cop real quick to see what he's got for those stacks. He's up there, not too bad. Looking at 41, is it? I can't read it from here. We'll figure it out, though. 10 souls over on a Bunny FuFuu. He's playing strong as well. And with that bottom lane, Cop has a better farm right now. And usually out of lane, Cop stays on top and farm. So it's WizFujiiN really to help come out onto this poke composition. And with Shiptur, with the rest of the team choosing poke, when is it going to get bad as Curse gets their gap closers ready to go? When does that happen?
Well, they're trying to get it going really early here because Nidalee does not have a lot of wave clear. She needs support in that mid lane. She can't hold the mid versus an AD in support by herself.
Yeah.
So Coast going to try and get into the 4-man poke squad plus split putting Zion really, really early here. They've sort of jump-started the strategy for this matchup. The only thing is, Curse are doing a good job of answering here. They have a teleport Renekton who can take Zion at this point, so they do have to worry about the top side rotation here from Curse.
Something we didn't even see last game is those teleports. Now both Zion and Quas bringing it to the table this time. Curse grouping up around middle here, looking for the Fog of War Lantern, possibly gets almost onto Daydreamin, just on the edge.
Dominate is level 6 too. If that death sentence lands, it is a true death sentence. Would have been able to take him out. Voyboy was even close enough to use his ult. So very, very dangerous. But Daydream is able to just run out of range. I'm very interested to see what the answer is for this Renekton because they send Shiptur up there for a little bit, and then he returns to try and farm jungle camps. Not really able to do much against Quas.
Back right now, 57 to 51. Like you said, the early engagement of ZionSpartan didn't affect them too much, but Quas also didn't get a huge lead out of that. 30 to 28 in the jungle. I'm still waiting for Dominate to come out big on this. They were kind of flustered at their early game start and haven't really had a chance to get over to Voyboy and start these ultimates for him to get the last breath rolling. Looking for where Curse can come up on the next Dragon. We didn't see, like you said, Shiptur throwing spears out. Curse was able to take control of that, and now in the lead at 1-0 in kills. Again, Shiptur to the top lane, and we're going to see a Voyboy to match him now. So everybody's just trying to kind of keep laning phase going, actually.
You can see how cautious Shiptur is because he knows by his level 6. He's just trying to CS with spears.
Voyboy wants that cleared out. He wants eyes on Shiptur.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy dive. They don't have a lot of deep wards, though. So if there's support coming from the coast side jungle, Curse could overextend with this. They don't know that this is a safe dive, but it is because nobody's here. They could go for it.
They also have a teleport. The bottom lane isn't really in favor of either Quas or ZionSpartan right now, so he'd be more than happy to get himself up there in a fight and get some more kills or assists. Shiptur being left alone, though. The team
good trap.
Putting pressure on the rest. Yeah, Bushwhack calling out Dominate. Whew. Very nice damage. Trading it back from Wiz. Bunny FuFuu doesn't look like he's going to stay for the help too much, but he was baiting out a hook as everybody on the map right now is soaking up what they can before the next engagement. This is kind of we're waiting for somebody to go for a ward and die, or 1 minute and 40 seconds for Dragon.
And if they do Dragon right around now, Curse would have the upper hand with the Renekton there and the vision control already in their favor. Zion, though, picked up a red buff for himself.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll be fighting too soon. He can easily give Quas a hard time on that, though. As long as he keeps Dragon Rage up, or Dragon Rage kick, yeah, up as well, he can stop that teleport.
So that's why Quas is keeping a full bar of Fury, because he's scared of this red buff. So he wants to make sure if Zion comes in, then he's going to have 2 empowered abilities ready for him to go. Elise being called down bottom, though. They might start this out.
This will be big. Ooh, minute on the Dragon, the red buff being applied and getting some damage.
Ward, though.
Yeah. It's going to just push Quas off totally on that. He doesn't even want to come back. But it looks like Dominate may want to. This is scary now. Quas is already low. Dominus is going to have to be used at the right time here.
This counter gank that Curse are trying to orchestrate right now could very well earn them Dragon. It's lucky for Coast that they back off and they actually don't go for that, because that would be a definite Dragon for Curse if they pulled off that counter gank.
ZionSpartan backing at the right time to thwart that. With a 1,000 gold lead, Curse does set up for Dragon. You said about this time, Kobe, they would have the advantage. Forcing the box, but he still gets the hook. He gets into it. The box to play goes down, and they're able to come up with a kill there. Bunny FuFuu actually holds on to the box, so they still have that for this fight.
That's why I kept saying Thresh was really important with these two guys. Bunny FuFuu with the flash plays here. Doesn't hesitate to go in, but Voyboy's ultimate is down now. Taking some poke under this Dragon.
Hell goes up. They're trying to get themselves in the right spot. A very nice smite by Dominate. They go in for the fight on Nintendude. Repel's used, so he is a sitting duck in this one, and he goes down. They are forced to flash onto him, but like I said, Quas and the rest of the team wanting those kills.
So yeah, he uses Repel to think about going for the steal on Dragon, but once Repel is down, Vi can easily ult her. Usually she doesn't want to ult Elise because you can completely avoid her ultimate. Once it's down, though, Dominate does not hesitate. Another kill for Curse.
That's pretty nice. He didn't have vision over the wall.
Good reactions.
Good reactions,
Voyboy.
Indeed.
Wind wall barely coming out in time.
Wind is fast. Cop quite low on mana. Ooh, that was pretty painful right there.
Taking a lot of poke. Cop's got to be careful under that turret. He's getting poked down. The poke is still definitely there from Coast.
This is great for them, too. Having both Wiz and Shifter there at the same time, along with Daydreamin, getting that raw auto attack in on it. They got Primal Surge to make WizFujiiN attack speed steroid go up. Oh, Voyboy, back and forth. He's already on that side of the wall. Not going to help as much, but they do go for the ultimate, knocks him up with his own Q. And it's not going to be much of a fight between those two as they back off 50% health. The result, though, was mid going down.
Yeah, they're sticking to their game plan here. Coast with the 4-man poke squad. Zion doing his own thing down bottom. Goes in onto Voyboy. This is going to be an all-in duel.
Uh-oh, that TP coming in. Knocks out ZionSpartan's going to have to be careful of Quas on this one. You don't want that, but you do.
Able to get the TB down from Quas, and now is onto a ward as well. Full cooldown. Voyboy's got to limp away from this fight. Control of blue buff is so important in this game because they have the Nidalee, and he got it.
Very nice play. They don't even choose to go after it.
His smite was not available for Dominate.
Great plays here from Coast, doing exactly what they need to do to set the pieces in motion to stop this lead that Curse has. They're cutting off Quas as he even tries to get to lane, and this is when it gets tough. Curse is now having to deal with Coast cutting into their jungle and really getting what they want out of it.
WizFujiiN able to handle the mid lane all by himself here. Pretty big comeback for Coast so far. Getting that blue buff is monumental for them. They need Shifter to constantly have this. He is the bright spot on their team.
Really. Very nicely done. He did have a ward there, but he still got himself in the right spot. All those little things making your opponent just kind of, damn.
Thing is, about stealing that blue buff, they can just save their own until it runs out.
Yeah.
So Shifter will have perma blue buff this time around and be a very, very big annoyance for Team Curse here. Curse are expecting to win the early game with their lineup, but they have to be very careful about how they execute. in these tower sieges, and they have to be very wary of Zion's teleport cooldown.
Well, we still have Quas on check right now. That was to a minion, so he doesn't get the extra 100 seconds off. Pink wards being picked up by Coast now as they know they can control the ground they want to put those pink wards on. You usually want to hold them until you can make sure that area is secure. Right now they have one offensively and a bit of a defensive one in their own base, or in their own jungle, I should say. Both teams at mid now, Kobe. Dragon's been down for only a few minutes, so it's not coming back up anytime soon. Should be a pretty good fight if it happens.
Yeah, they're very confident with the Zion split push. He's getting good damage on the turret, and the 4-man poke squad once again grouping up towards mid.
Waiting for Shifter to get the pokes out. Curse is going to be doing everything they can to dodge him. It makes the game looks like it's just slow, slow, slow.
Interesting call here,
Trying to make it.
Keeping Voyboy down bottom. Oh, it lands!
Unfortunately, Shifter on the other side of the minions, but he does find Bunny FuFuu for a second spear in a row. And it looks like they're going to have big damage onto this turret. You should see the heals over to WizFujiiN and the turret falling fast.
Now, Dominate was in position to flank, and Voyboy was coming from the back. They could have engaged this if Bunny FuFuu had not been hit by that spear. But since Bunny had to go back to base, that's a win turret for Coast. All it takes, a couple spears there from Nidalee, and they're able to get this objective. That's why the blue buff is so important to this team.
And no kills kind of shows that they're playing their composition perfectly. You say that and you're like, well, a team wants kills. But to poke everything out and get a turret without having to die, or get kills, I should say, they have died. But.
And Cop still hasn't been able to cash in. He's got 360 adoration stacks.
He just likes to save them.
So he'll get a pretty big cash in if they can get that hard engage. What Curse are looking for is everyone to be at full health, so nobody take a spear first.
Yeah.
And then, if Dominate can get into that same flanking position where he comes in from the side of Team Coast and gets into the team, all he needs is to bump one person for Voyboy to be able to go in with his ulti, and they can hard engage very easily against this poke squad. It's exactly what they want to do. At that point, all they have to worry about is the Zyra ulti. That's pretty much the big answer that Coast have right now for the all-in from Curse.
Voyboy keeping it consistent. Over the past 3 games, he has out-farmed Shifter in the mid lane. He's using those assassins.
Poked out
those
again.
Clears as well.
All this money
Always.
that Bunny's putting into cooldown reduction and speed, trying to get his talisman, he's pretty low on HP and magic resist, very susceptible to those spears. Even Quas having gotten damage.
Everybody's getting pretty low on HP right now. This is a lot of what we saw at the start of the spring split. Back last split. Last season.
Great pink ward coverage around this dragon. This should be very, very easy for Coast. They're able to get it, but it's a good call from Curse. They are the ones who want to hard engage, so they can bully. When Coast are out of position, it's easy for Curse to go for the mid turret.
That's not the one you want. It was a good catch, though. Looks like Shifter is doing everything he can from the outside. Now the Zanyas is finished, knowing that Dominate and the rest of the team are going to try to gap close on him as soon as possible whenever they get the chance. Pink ward's now going down for Curses. They know Coast is going to be knocking on the front door quite soon. Back to the 1-3-1. I shouldn't say back to, now to the double split push.
Yeah, Shifter, he wants no part of that Voyboy and Dominate combo. The early Zanyas from him. And meanwhile, that also means that WizFujiiN has to watch his positioning, because that's 100% who Curse are looking at now. He's the secondary target. WizFujiiN has to be pretty careful in these fights. Make sure that he stays away from any sort of displacement, because that's going to be immediate engagement from Curse.
There's not too much safety for them either. Everybody pretty much fends for themselves here if you're not on the side of Thresh.
Has he got it?
Nope, it's actually half there. He's going to get queued just on the outside. They cannot activate it, but he is level 12 to Quas' 11. It dominates 10, so he may have been able to hold his own as the team converged down to their spot. 20 minutes in, Curse now with the lead of 3 kills and gold. They're slowly being pushed back into their base. It doesn't seem like they can find any more map control over Coast.
Super close game right now. And with the poke being in Coast's favor, this is the exact type of game that Coast like to play. I have to say, they're probably feeling pretty good about this game so far. Getting Zion, or getting Shiptur exactly where he needs to be. Already has that defensive capabilities to fall back on as well. And the Spears, you know they're doing the work already.
Yeah. The work of HP and even zoning of to start these fights, start getting turrets in the mid lane. They dropped the 2 because Curse had hardly any health to guard their own turrets, and only 1,000 gold away now. Coast creeps up even more, and Curse can't even control where their pink wards are now. They're starting to be taken out.
So the thing is, Curse are just waiting for that one opening. They've got great ward coverage on their own side of the jungle. So if they can catch Coast in a bad rotation, then Curse will explode onto the scene. Voyboy, though, super deep. He doesn't have any ward coverage down bottom here.
Definitely going to need to
He's
lose
definitely
weight
caught up
for
here.
this.
He's got the whole Coast team behind him.
Good dodge. Back to Nintendude. He's going to
Teleport
dodge out
in.
the cocoon on this one. They do got 1 TP coming in. Popped up immediately. Quas gets hit. He throws on Dominus to start the fight and get that area of effect damage in. Voyboy is very low. Keeping eyes on him. Almost gets Shiptur, and the Zhonya's comes into play very big. Dominate goes right past over to WizFujiiN. The kill is there. Shiptur should go down. One last Bowbreaker. Dominate did the tap. It's going to be the slice, flash, and dice from Quas. Gets the kill. The hook from Buddy FuFuu. One after the other from him. Zion tries to safeguard. The box catches him on the outside, and Nintendude forced to leave him at bay. Whoa. He's going to have another one going down. Buddy FuFuu almost got himself killed there.
Hey, guys, everybody's walking away while Zion's still banging on Buddy FuFuu over there. But, okay.
Curse now back in it
This
again.
was such a great thing from Curse. They are the ones who want to engage, but they didn't even have to use their own abilities to hard engage there. Voyboy baits in all of Coast to engage on Curse. Coast are the team that are poke heavy, and they're the ones who start the fight out. Voyboy buys enough time for the rest of his team to head down here. Quas is able to teleport in. Doesn't matter that it's on top of the Zyra ulti, because the rest of Team Curse are able to arrive in time. And it was Coast who started off the fight engaging. WizFujiiN was just annihilated while all the attention was over on the backline. Everybody trying to take down Voyboy. He was able to survive long enough to turn this one around. And again, Buddy FuFuu keeps coming up with these plays on Thresh. And I have to question that champion select one more time.
Yeah.
Everybody turns back around. Okay, Zion's taking out Buddy. We need to kill him.
Great plays coming in. A very strong teleport in from Curse as well to pull themselves together and adapt to that fight on the fly. Now 6-1. And finally get a few more kills onto Coast as they've been using this poke composition to an extreme.
Yeah, so they definitely have to be wary. Even when they catch somebody out like that, seemingly Voyboy all alone and defenseless, if they have 4 people coming onto them, Coast still have to worry about engaging themselves.
Oh, that was the assault and battery. They just caught out WizFujiiN way out of range on that one. Like we said, these gap closers are going to be huge. He got him on the way down before the little Spideys fell.
All right, so Curse now, as I said, they just need one opening. They got their opening twice in a row. Another turret after 2 more kills for them. Now they really need to get vision on this other side of the map. They've had good control of their own jungle. They need to supplement that. So Dominate immediately going right back to WizFujiiN. He knew after killing him in the last fight that he was a vulnerable target. Doesn't hesitate once again. The hard engage versus poke team, and Buddy FuFuu is ridiculous.
My God. How good is that? Even charging the wind-up time perfectly for the repel fall.
It's his favorite champion.
You can see it.
By far most played. I don't know, yeah. We already went over it several times. We don't have to keep harping
Dragon's
on that.
alive. We're going to Dragon, and so is ZionSpartan and Shiptur. They should be able to clean this up. We were just looking at 1,000 gold deficit for Coast. That's 6,000 gold now. They need to bring some of that back. This Dragon will definitely help, but they lost a lot of ground there.
It's because the poke strategies are so fragile. Once you give up a little bit of gold, it's pretty easy for the hard engage teams to just crush you over and over. Now, anytime that they catch somebody out, they won't be hesitating. However, remember the early mid game there, where Shiptur's spears started finding their targets. That situation can come about again, even though they're down in gold. Spear after spear onto a priority target. If Coast are able to poke effectively before the fight starts, they can still turn this one around.
Yeah, but Curse has done a great job so far of starting inside the fight. Quas doing a good job with that last time as he just got in after the damage from Daydreamin's ultimate and Stranglethorns and just popped up for the fun. Came in big on the fight. Curse looking for more here. Coast staying together hip to hip as they rotate around the map, but you can see the wards of Curse giving them all the vision they need.
Pretty good zone control from Zyra as well. I like putting the plant down first to scout to make sure that it's safe to clear his ward. It's the little things you have to worry about. You have to play very safe when going against the Vi, because he just saw how his AD carry WizFujiiN was killed from half a screen away because Vi has a long gap closer into another ultimate that can lock onto you. All right, this time around it's Curse who are looking to catch out the long push.
Quas on the top with the rest of the team just on his heel. Voyboy, yeah, looks like Voyboy's gonna go the low road on this one with the rest of the team. Nintendo gets hooked. They're not gonna waste too much until he gets that repel out. Dominate only going for a Q.
Fear number one.
Whoa! They use it. Oh, they try to get the slow down. Very nice play by Daydreamin. They're not able to quickly follow up on any of that, but they have the HP they want to take control of this position.
So fun to watch. The quintessential poke against hard engage. Such an interesting matchup. Two of the most common team variations that we've seen. A couple of spears land, advantage Coast. They're able to get vision control back. No big objective though. Just a couple of wards cleared out and vision around Baron. That will be important for them, as well as the blue buff onto Shiptur.
Coast has to remember to work off the ball here. Bottom lane is pushed up quite huge. If they lose a fight and get a good teleport out of Quas, Coast is going to be in a bad position real fast. Right now it looks like they know what they're doing. They have a hold on mid, and it's forcing Curse to react, and they can't go bottom right now.
Zion's teleport is available though, if they want to get back to their 4-man poke squad and split pushing Elise in.
Ooh. Looking over at Shifter. Zanya's into the Morello Namicon. Nice little builds for him. Lots of mana.
Now, the reason that the last couple of spears were such a big win for Coast is because they allowed him to get this vision down. The more wards that Coast have deep means the more consecutive spears that will be landing for Shifter, because he has it's so much easier for him to aim those when they have all this great coverage of Curse's red side jungle.
Quas. You feel so ostracized when you step on a bushwhack because nobody wants you to come near him.
Exactly.
Like,
stay away from me. You're quarantined now. Stick away from the rest of the team. Don't expect anyone else.
Everything to dodge on the top side of that. They also got the Caitlyn trap, so once they do get to the front of the base, they're going to be able to just trap out everything in front of the inhibitor turret, really making it hard for this gap closing team to want to do just that. See, at 8-1, they found their kills, but on those teleport fights, on the early fights, they haven't really come on brute forcing a tower down.
That pink ward not being inside the Baron pit. Okay, there we go. They got another pink ward that they have to drop. Full coverage around here by Curse. This is what they need to try and force Coast to play into their hands again. We saw how well it went for Curse when Coast are the ones getting aggressive and trying to initiate.
So great for Nidalee.
Zion's all the way at the inhibitor turret though. Everybody pay attention here because he's banging on the inhibitor turret.
He's been using that Hydra to get himself in close. The minion waves are just following right behind him with that amount of push. But now that he draws over Dominate, they're going to have a little bit more control over at Baron. What can they do with this? Maybe some more spears.
Vision.
I'd say that's a good call.
More wards, more wards. That's what they do. All right, so Zion, once again, probably will have to go split push. There is a pretty big wave down bottom. They don't want pressure on the bottom inhibitor. That is the worst case scenario for this stage of the game, as it is the furthest away from Baron.
Seeing how Coast is reacting here to this game. Looking at NintendudeX right now, his inventory, going with the Ninja Tabi instead of those Sork boots. Really taking into consideration pretty much a full AD team coming over here from Curse. So they need to start stacking that armor. Dominate, taking some good damage to get himself out with a fast Q. Voyboy, eyes on his head.
Yeah, both teams just trading vision around Baron here because both of them are aware of just one small mistake will cost them. If it's Coast landing 2 spears, then they're going to have the advantage in the team fight. Somebody that low health is not going to be able to participate. Meanwhile, if Curse see anyone out, they can capitalize very easily with the Vi plus Yasuo. So both teams playing very cautious here. Coast are trying to get their game plan back together, though. Split push Zion, 4-man poke squad. Opportune blue steal right here into a dragon. There's no vision for Curse because there was so much.
Got that heavy thought on
Baron.
Baron.
Yeah. This Baron side.
Very good coming in for Shiptur. We've seen last 2 plays of Bjergsen on Nidalee brought him quadra kills. Shiptur coming out, trying to carry the team with these spears. He hasn't hit a lot, but you can even see from the tweets coming in, he is zoning and helping to control the game.
Curse cannot start this Baron right now. Baron damage added on top of spears coming in would just be the end of them. This is a 4 versus 4 straight up because Zion and Quas can both interrupt each other's teleports.
He didn't trust his own shield.
Wind wall paying off right there. But yeah, it's, you know, I don't feel like Coast have to be too worried right now. Oh, they do start it off though. Vision gets inside, and Coast are slowly winning. That's why Curse have to make a move here. Spear lands!
Already a turret for this one coming in, Kobe. Bunny FuFuu also eats a spear of
Everybody's got
equivalent
so low!
HP. It's down there. There's the smite. Oh my gosh, Voyboy actually takes it with his last Q. You gotta be kidding me. They will not choose to fully engage on this fight, but they are gonna lose NintendudeX as he goes in. Quas finds himself on the backside after teleport. His Wiz and Shiptur are trying to run free. They can't even turn around to auto attack, and Wiz is hitting a brick wall.
To get the true story of what just happened, we need to see what happened with Zion and Quas up top. Because somehow Quas was able to get away from Zion and get the teleport off, completely winning team fight for his team. And then as you said, even though the smite didn't hit, it was Voyboy, I think, who was able to get the kill on the Baron with Yasuo.
The final NATO just throws it out.
So consolation prize Dragon at this point in the game is worth a decent amount of gold. Nothing on Baron though. Let's get a look at this Quas. Oh, Zion tried his hardest to get back into there. Oh my goodness, a split second. They were able to turn this around. Quas came in from the back there, cutting off Team Coast. If Quas had not been able to teleport, that would have been a hotly contested Baron. You could see Nintendo was getting in there with Elise, very easy to steal it away. Dominate even tried to coordinate his smite with the team, and that's why I think Yasuo was able to come away with the kill, because they were all comboing there first. But man, so close right there. Quas coming in the back, able to cut off the rest of Team Coast and get some more kills for Curse.
So Curse definitely pushing their advantages correctly this game. Not finding any trouble for themselves down the road as they try to get themselves into sticky situations, but they could start to find a little trouble if ZionSpartan keeps getting bigger. 272 now stacking armor on himself with that Thornmail, so he's going to be quite troublesome if Cop gets into range for him and he can't kill him right away. Looking for an Infinity Edge for Cop as well. That's going to be doubled up with Voyboys, so if they catch somebody, it's an instant pop.
Man, now is where it gets really intense, because Curse have a decent lead. However, they're faced with not only a Nidalee who will be spamming the spears at them, but in the face of that, the first reaction is we need a tower dive, and we have great hard engage, but we're doing it against a Zyra, one of the best counter engage in the game.
Right.
How well can Coast defend their inhibitor turrets? They need to buy as much time as they can for Shiptur to land these spears. Will Zyra be enough of a deterrent? I think this is the right call. They can't afford to keep Dominate out there. Zion out there. They need him to also be able to lend the Lee Sin kick to make sure that Curse are not able to get a dive off.
You can see the traps also starting to come out of WizFujiiN to prevent this dive that they would try to go on. Second tier turret is there as both teams peppering each other's bases here after inhibitor turrets are the next thing to go down. 35 minutes in, Curse is going to try to find another way in.
They're looking for the small window that Wind Wall will give them. No, there's the hard
the window of that assault and battery to the backside. Will they be able to lock it down? They do get WizFujiiN in the matter of a second. Daydreamin looking to use his passive, but it won't help too much. But they get him during the safeguard to the ward. An amazing Amazing play from Buddy FuFuu. Once again, the plays. Nintendude's going to be running scared, and the inhibitor turret is going to be falling.
Well, our question was answered. Curse were able to go for the tower dive. They got the instant hard engage. Shiptur goes for the solo play.
Uh-oh, this leaves him in a bad spot. There it is, taken down by Voyboy. His initial target. He gets his own retribution for that one. 14-3. 40 seconds on the clock for some of these timers. Voyboy at long range goes in for the kill, and he gets a double for himself. The save on the Lantern. He wasn't even taking damage, Kobe, but Curse is taking control.
Yeah, that, I don't know, Shiptur jumping in right there. That definitely sealed the game here. Curse are going to be able to come away with this one. Hard engage, over poke. Take it away. Voyboy does go down, and so does Buddy, though.
Another 35-minute game on the day. A super weak. Curse coming out big after that initial engagement at the inhibitor turrets. And they take the win over Coast.
So Curse, the last tower dive there, they just dive right over the Zyra ulti.
Yeah.
They didn't even have time to get the knockup on. Dominate, Quas, go right over that circle, get to the back line, and annihilate WizFujiiN with Voyboy popping in. So close right there.
That's almost my favorite way to have it happen. Because if we would have seen Dominate get an attack like that at the second tier turret, then Coast would be aware that it's coming again, and we never would have gotten that base fight. Curse would never have had the advantage to do that, but Dominate took it into his hands and said, we're going for this one.
That's why I said I really like this matchup between these two team comps, because you know what they have to do, and they have to pull it off. And yes, it's very dangerous, but they pulled it off flawlessly right there, and it gives them the victory.
An odd start, not really sloppy or wrong, but an odd start coming from Coast. With their swap, I think they've gotten to their own heads, not having the AD carry down bottom to help ZionSpartan in what was a very big solo mission at level 1.
Yeah, so if you're swapping and you're sending all your power up to the top side, invading down on the blue side jungle was very dangerous. Level 1 Lee Sin, he was just trying to catch Curse off guard. But
if that would have worked, it would have been crazy.
A very similar weird strategy.
Yeah.
They had Quas counter jungling. However, Curse did it where Quas is counter jungling on the side where they do have their AD support. A bit safer.
The man himself cashing in on his adoration stacks this time. He made sure to hit the bank a few times during this game. Cop ends up 2-1-7. And when you have a team that's rushing the Infinity Edges, we actually haven't, let's back up though and say they ran full AD. We haven't seen that at all recently. But with those Infinity Edges coming out at the end of the game, we saw how fast people were popping, and that's all that Curse was really waiting for. They didn't push themselves before they had that, and I think that's a big correction than what they were usually doing.
Yeah, Cop definitely kept his cool this time around. I have to say, though, if we're talking about bottom lane, Bunny FuFuu.
Oh, man.
On Thresh.
Hook, flash hook, flay out of Safeguard. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It was Safeguard onto the ward. Right now, though, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk with IWillDominate and Voyboy on securing 5th place. Then CLG takes to the Rift against Cloud9, who are looking to retake first. Don't go anywhere.
Elise spot. They're coming for me.
Alright, I'm moving.
Yep.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
I'm coming with the TP.
Yeah, TP. This is gonna be a fight.
I'm ulting. Yep.
I got stun. I'm gonna stun.
I'm ulting this guy.
Nidalee. I got stun on Nidalee.
We're all moving. We're almost here.
Nidalee, killer. Yeah, she's
Let me get. Okay. Fuck.
Going on Zion.
And Nidalee.
They're low.
Nidalee. I got her.
Nice.
Hey, keep going.
Yep, keep going.
Nice.
You got Zion.
Okay, good. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep the lantern cop.
Let
Get it.
Trying.
Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, I got it.
Alright, push the spot right here.